As Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of all joy. Sadly, the reason you started comparing yourself is because someone else decided to compare you first. Now, when I was growing up, I remember I always wanted to be thin like my sister, and I always wanted to have the notorious thigh gap, and I always used to think, oh, I'd be so much happier when I finally get there, or my life would be so much easier, my life would be so much better if I had that figure. And a crazy thing happened to me. I was on holiday with my sister and we were having a bit of a heart-to-heart. And I remember her saying how envious she was of my figure, and that she wished that she had a figure like mine, and that she didn't like her thighs and all of this crazy stuff. And I couldn't believe it. The person that I admired the most and was so desperate to be was telling me that they admired me and that they had their own body hang-ups. And I just could not believe it. In that situation, we both kind of laughed and realised that all these years we've been both envious of each other, yet we both wanted what each other had. And I think that's such a interesting story, and a story that is one that is so often true, that we put these people on a pedestal and we think they've got their whole life together, or if only I had what they had, or only if I had this, then I would be happy. And it's so often the case that those people don't even think that of themselves, and they often wish that they had what other people had, and it's just this constant cycle and this constant spiral. And it just made me realise that comparison is inevitable. We are just function, and it's part of being human, is that we compare ourselves to other people as a way of kind of making sense of the world. And we all wish we had what other people had, whether it's, if you have curly hair, you want straight hair. If you have boobs, you want a bum. If you have blue eyes, you want brown eyes. Literally, we just never seem to be very happy with what we've got. But since it's here to stay in terms of comparison, then doesn't it make sense that we actually decide to run with it and help it to use it to help us to our advantage, use it to our advantage, and stop the endless fighting and just realise that that is part of who we are, and we can actually benefit from this. So what I've done is I've kind of put together 3 categories of comparison for us to help us to use it to our advantage and provide practical tools when it does cause more harm than good. So the first I'm going to refer to is destruction. So this is when your comparison is harmful and it affects your self-worth, and it just makes you feel really inferior. And we've all been there, whether it's going through a social media account and seeing someone that's constantly on holiday in Barbados, Mauritius, the Maldives, and then we just get these feelings of anxiety and stress, and we just wish our lives were like that. And it's not a nice feeling, and I know that so many of us have been there, and hence why it's called destruction. The second is neutrality. So this is where we kind of meet it with acceptance. It doesn't affect our self-worth. And that could be, as an example, that someone has got a promotion or they've just bought their dream house. And we just say congratulations. We're just happy for those people. It has no bearing on us and where we're going in life. We're just simply seeing it as an acceptance, and we're just happy for that person, and it has no impact on us. And then the third is power. So this is where comparison builds encouragement, where we can take inspiration and get admiration. There's people that are doing things that, that we could only dream of, and it's an example of kind of what's possible. And that's what inspires self-growth. So in that respect, comparison can be really, really good. And essentially where we want to get to is a mixture of neutrality and power. So what I want you to do when you start to feel type 1 destruction and you can feel it creeping in, I want you to first acknowledge what is the source to making you feel these feelings of inadequacy. Is it a social media account like we mentioned at the start where it just brings anxiety and feelings of inadequacy? The second I want you to do is remove that source. So if we take the same example, remove that social media account so that you don't keep getting those feelings of inadequacy and inferiority. The third is take note of any patterns and write it down. Now, this only works if you are truly honest with yourself, and I know that that can be really hard, it can be embarrassing, it can be tough to admit, but like I said, this is only going to work if you are truly honest with yourself. So why is it that you are feeling like this? Like if you're looking at, let's say, a gym account and it makes you feel really inferior and it brings up those really negative feelings, is it a simple case of the fact that you too want to lose weight, but you're not going to the gym and you're not doing all the things that you need to do? Now, if that's the case, what we should be doing is addressing those feelings with action. And that can be in terms of gentle action, so we don't have to go full throttle. If it's a case that social media account, for example, is simply showing you what you want, and you are getting these feelings because it's not something you're doing, let's meet that with gentle action. And then the fourth, nothing is as it seems. So a lot of the things that we see in social media or in marketing and billboards, a lot of this is fake, you know, and there's a reason why filters are getting cancelled and banned across the world, because they create this false sense of beauty which no one can live up to. Like, you say you want this and you want that, and it doesn't even exist. Like, these people that you're aspiring to look like don't even look like it themselves. And so it's really empowering to know that a lot of what you see isn't even as it seems. And we all do the same. We all put on our best face and we hide all the cracks and creases, and we just put forward our best foot and we tell everyone how great things are going. We all do this ourselves. So why do we expect that it's very different for other people? It's not. And I always encourage people to be genuine and authentic, because it allows others to do exactly the same, and it removes that barrier, it removes that pressure and gets rid of that facade, because then, like, we don't have to keep pretending. So I just wanted to raise this to you because, like I say, that there's so many times that we do this to ourselves and we put ourselves through this unnecessary like stress and pain. And especially like at Christmas, it becomes even more apparent where people are buying their kids all these amazing presents or doing up their decorations, and you naturally compare yourself to these people. But I just want you to break it down and look at like the 3 types of comparison and make a point to position yourself in terms of power and neutrality, so that it doesn't affect your self-worth just because someone else is doing something that you want. See that as a sign that you are able and have everything you need to do just that, and see it as inspiration, and allow it to like empower like self-growth, rather than the negative like impacts and feelings that it can have on us. So I just want to raise your awareness and make you realize that comparison is inevitable. So let's start using it to our advantage and take back control. So I'm sending you so much love and so much blessings. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Like, it means so much to me. And if this video resonated with you, then please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Always leave your comments, and feel free to share your stories like I did with my sister and I. And there's so many out there, and it's just so good like bringing it to the surface and making us realize that we're not alone in this journey called life, and we are here to empower, inspire and support one another. So I will leave you to it. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.